Welcome back, Meredith. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, me too.
How are you doing today?
I'm okay. I'm good. I'm just a little stressed, I guess I would say. Grad school.
A lot going on.
Yeah.
So we only have about 15 minutes for our session today, but I was hoping that you could tell me a little bit about what you would like to explore during our time together today.
Yeah, I think I've been feeling more stressed than usual lately, and a little anxious because one of my best friends from home has recently had to drop out of school and move in with her parents to help take care of her dad who is really sick. Um, she's been one of my best friends since preschool. We grew up together. We were super close. And her dad has had emphysema. I mean, I guess he was diagnosed when we were in middle school, probably. So it's really hard for him to breathe, and we're from Wyoming. So he had to move out to California when we were in high school. And then her mom moved with him once she graduated high school. And she went to college, and everything was fine. And she recently started grad school, but then her dad had to have a double lung transplant, which is like it's a huge surgery, and it's like a really long recovery. And I'm just pretty worried about her because she dropped out of school to help her dad, which I think, is a great thing to do, and it's the right thing to do. It's what you do for family. But I also can see it being really hard for her because, she's seeing me go to grad school and do the things that I want to do, and pretty much all the rest of our friends are also in grad school and, living their lives. And I feel like even though she knows she's doing the right thing, it's probably a little hard for her because she's had to put her whole life on hold and kind of become she's a caretaker. Her dad can't do anything. He can't cook, he can't clean, he can barely walk. If he gets a cold at all, it turns into an infection and he has to go to the ER. So he's been just in and out of the hospital, and it's really just my friend and her mom who are taking care of him. And she does have a younger sister, but she's still doing her undergrad. And so I know that their family, would never ask her to leave school. But I think that that's also a little hard for my friend because, she's giving up her life to take care of her dad, but her sister isn't,
Yeah.
And so it's just like the struggle of, even though it is the right thing, it's hard to see her, sacrifice all that. And I also, I just worry about her. I can't talk to her as much as I would like to. Grad school is super busy, so, we play phone tag all the time. She'll call me while I'm in class, and then I'll call her back and she's at work, or she's taking care of her dad and can't talk. So it'll be a couple weeks before we actually get to talk to each other. And I just really worry because she doesn't have, her good friends with her. It's literally just her and her mom and her dad. And they're in LA, which I know she doesn't like LA at all. So I think it's just hard. It's hard to know that she's going through that and that there's nothing I can do and that I can barely talk to her to be supportive.
That's a lot going on there. Yeah. It sounds like, so you have a very close relationship with this friend.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like a very long history with the family and maybe a long history of illness with the father as well. And now your friend is taking on a lot of responsibility in the family, and it sounds like you're really concerned about her well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And it also sounds like you're concerned that you're maybe not able to give as much to your friend as maybe you have previously, or maybe as much as you would like, support-wise, that you would like to give to your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really curious about what your relationship with her has looked like in the past, and if you've been able to support her through. It sounds like this isn't a new illness,
right.
New thing.
Yeah, she's not one to ask for help at all, and she can be pretty closed off, which is, part of the reason I worry about her so much. I think, even all growing up, I've been a support for her. Me and one of we have one other like best friend who's been with us for a long time. But she's still never been one to like come to us saying she needs help. And even though we are super close, it's still a struggle sometimes to get her to open up and actually like be vulnerable and tell us how she feels. I think she's a proud person, so it can be hard for her to just kind of put some of the, like take the pressure off herself a little bit and just let people be a support system for her.
So it sounds like maybe there are barriers to helping just because it sounds like maybe your friend is closed off, and in order to support her you have to figure out a way that maybe she would accept that support. Do you think that she feels supported with what you're trying to do?
I think she knows that I'm trying, and she knows how busy I am, and she knows how busy she is. So I think she understands, but I think she would feel more supported if I could, be there just a little bit more for her.
So what is it that you have done so far?
Pretty much it's just, I call her when I can. I think about her all the time. But our schedules are just so opposite that it's like almost impossible to get her on the phone. We text back and forth once in a while. But that's about it. I mean, there hasn't been much else that I've been able to do so far.
And it does sound like there is a conflict with the scheduling. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so I have classes during the day and then internship, and then I also work a job at a trauma center, so it's kind of like, that's crazy hours. I never know when I'm going to be working also because I just pick up shifts. And she is like full-time caregiver to her dad, and she switches off with her mom once in a while, but then she also she has a restaurant job, so she's always busy at night, which is like usually when I would be free. So it's just like we're in two totally different places all the time.
Right. So I'm just curious if there's any sort of overlap or gaps in the schedule that you have picked up on, or anything that's really worked for you in the past, how 6 months since you started graduate school?
I think it's really just been luck. Like when I actually, when we call each other and we can actually pick up the phone, it's just been luck. And I honestly haven't really been able to figure out how to set up, a time that we could talk, because I don't want to put that pressure on her either, and B, our lives are crazy.
Right. So I'm curious what it would look like to her to either find a way to communicate or to help her feel supported in a way that you maybe would know that she would feel that from you.
Yeah. And I could try other things. Because the biggest issue for me is just that, now I'm super anxious about it, because every time the phone rings and it's her, I'm like, oh my God, is her dad passing away? Like, do I need to be there right now? What's going on? And then I feel guilty if I can't answer. Which is why texting has been kind of helpful, because at least you can say something, but neither of us are big texters.
Right.
So I don't really know. What to do.
I can see some of that anxiety right now.
Yeah.
And how is that affecting your life right now? How is that anxiety and maybe what you said, the guilt, is that affecting things in your life, in your world?
Yeah, definitely whenever I get the phone call from her, I kind of feel guilty, and I'm really worried about her until I can check the voicemail. And I think about it a lot because she's one of my best friends, so it affects my life for sure, just because I really care about her. So yeah.
So before we're starting to get close to the end of our session, but I would like to try to work towards finding at least maybe one goal that you could accomplish before our next session, that either helps you show your friend that support, either through a different way of communicating, sending maybe an email if that would work better, or setting up a time. I'm wondering if there's a time during the week that you guys could say, we're going to put aside this time to talk, or some sort of goal that would help maybe your anxiety and you feel better about the situation. Although, correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe that anxiety comes from not being able to support her. So maybe doing that goal and trying to communicate would help that anxiety from your end too.
Yeah, I think it would definitely make me feel better, and I'm pretty sure it would make her feel better too if we could talk more often. Yeah, I think I haven't really thought about email because we never email each other. But that might be a good way, because then I can kind of just get it all out on paper, and she knows, how I feel, and that I really am thinking about her all the time, even if I can't be there or talk to her all the time. So I think that might be a good idea. And then, we can always try to work towards picking a time to talk and set aside some time every week. So yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So do you think that if we're going to pick a goal, would that goal be sending an email, or would that goal be trying to set aside that time to talk?
I think I can send an email. I think that would be a good starting place, and I can even, fill in there that I want to try to set a time, and without pressuring her too much to be like, this needs to happen now. So yeah, I think an email is a good idea.
So I think that what we can do is say, okay, you're going to send this email, and then I'm hoping that, would you like to meet back again with me to discuss this?
Yeah.
We can possibly meet this time next week. So it gives you a week to send it and see what comes out of it, and if that is a realistic solution to this problem.
Yeah, that sounds good.
How are you feeling about this?
It feels good to have a plan, I guess. Yeah, so that's a good starting point.
Okay.
And we can see from there.
Well, thank you so much for coming in today.
Yeah, thank you.
I hope things work out with your friend.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Thanks.